What part of being an adult were you absolutely not prepared for? Your path to independence is filled with a loss of people. There are people you sincerely care about that will just disappear because of distance and growth in different directions. When I was a kid, I was afraid of losing everyone to death just because that was such a set-out end. Now, I'd say the older people in my life that I've maintained friendships kinda just sail off into the sunset, and it's a good final resolution. People my age though, it just sometimes feels like whatever connection we had became meaningless overnight. You can contact them all you want, try to fight for it as you can, but that's gone. Burying dad, had to take charge but had mum and brother to take the strain and share the process. Burying mum. On my own, no family to help. Going through all mum's belongings, and realizing that I'm the only one left that these trinkets mean anything to. That they'll end up in the bin when I'm gone. Realizing I'm an orphan, on my own in my adopted country. ETA, a day later, I'm amazed at how many people took the time to reach out. I know we're never truly alone, but so many stories, offers of friendship or help. What an amazing community spirit. Heartfelt thanks to all of you who responded, The strong visceral wish for my parents to take care of me when I'm really sick or really sad. Not to the extent that I do anything about it, but how much I ache for that memory of how well they always cared for me when I lived with them. I had a terrible cold a few weeks ago and my spouse and kid were terrific, and friends and co-workers all kind and helpful, but I just kept thinking, if only mom or dad could cover me with a blanket and bring me soup and tell me not to worry about adulting for a while. I'm lucky that they are both alive and still love to nurture me the best they can from a distance, and as much as is appropriate for a 37-year-old smile. Tons of things, but the one thing I never heard anyone else say, maybe they really don't have it or just don't want to say, is having to figure out how to bolster yourself, inspire yourself and reward yourself. As kids, we get parents, teachers, etc. who, hopefully, encourage us, praise us for achievements, celebrate with us. You grow up and half the time your declaration of "hey, I did a good job with, whatever," is met with an eye roll or variations of "oh, did you want a cookie?" I try to celebrate things, and if I hear something good, no matter how insignificant it might seem to most people, has happened for someone else, I congratulate them or cheer them on. It just sucks that I don't know more people who react the same way. Not having other adult friends, or even potential adult friends close at hand. When you're a kid, friends, or even potential friends, are almost always close. Close by proximity. Close by in the same class. Close by at the same stop. Close by at the same swim meet. When you're an adult, you're more closed off. By your commute. By the train. By the bus. By the preschool schedule. By the 37.5 hours a week that you close yourself off from the ones that actually matter the most to you, so that you can in turn support the ones that matter the most to you, so you close yourself off from the ones that actually matter the most to you, so that you can in turn support the ones that actually matter the most to you. Taking care of my 11-year-old sister. I'm only 24, and my parents are garbage people. The past few years have been really bad for my parents. They have dipped deeper into drugs, and have forgotten about the rest of society. About 2 weeks ago, my sister was messaging me and my aunt about being suicidal. We drove up to my parents' house and made them get her some real help. After about a week and a half in the hospital, she didn't want to go back. Of course, she could stay with me and we will make it work. My husband and I in the last 2 weeks have changed our entire lives for her. We are getting a new place so she can have a room. Got her new clothing / shoes / school supplies that she actually likes. My husband is currently looking for a different job. She is worth it though. I love her more than anything. She is already changing for the better. Being more social, not isolating herself. It's just hard because I don't know what's going to come next. She is also really excited to be Lalo from Lalo and Stitch for Halloween. She asked me and my husband to be Nanny and David too. Of course we will. I did not predict how easy it was to get into a habit of drinking. I drank like an average college person, basically on weekends, with only a handful of hangovers in the 4 years I was in university. What I did not predict was how easy it was to drink every night of the week once you didn't have homework to do. What started with a beer while cooking dinner turned into 3 to 4 drinks a night, starting around 7 p.m. That escalated into entire bottles of wine a night, rotating between shopping at different liquor stores every other day so as not to raise suspicion, and learning how to push through weekly hangovers at work the following morning. Almost sober 2 years now. There's always something I should be doing. Like it got easier with practice, but it wasn't so much having money for bills, it was getting used to managing everything. College was kind of an all-inclusive system, then I left and now I feel like every week I have to manage something separate. Car registration, car maintenance, house maintenance, dentist appointments, doctor's appointments, yard work, professional development hours for work, insurance pre-authorization forms. Learning to get comfortable doing all of those things and then staying on top of them and making sure they get done. The police do not give a shit that my internet service provider was down, the DMV is only open when I'm at work, the weather has been hell, and I'm 7 months pregnant. It's my job to just find a way to get my car's registration updated. Other than that, I wasn't prepared for how much I'd like being an adult instead of being a child. If you're lucky and work hard, it's pretty awesome. There are a lot of sad comments here, and rightfully so. Aging sucks, but I've got a slightly happier one, I think. How much I love my daughter. Growing up I always thought kids would be cool one day, have a little me, awesome. But when my wife wanted to have a kid, she had to work on me for a while. I wasn't ready. I'm still not. But every day, coming home from work to her cute toothy grin, hearing her shout daddy and come running, can't get enough. Even tonight, when she got too tired and wouldn't eat all her dinner, then screamed at me she didn't want to talk to me. She's almost 3, it was rough. Hurt like a mother. But I walked her to the tub, bathed her, and let her scream and yell and cry at me because that girl needs to know that it doesn't matter what she does, she can't push me away. I'm always going to love her and always going to be her dad. No one could have prepared me for that. No one could have prepared me for just how. Friends drifting away. I realized last night, I really don't know my closest friend anymore. She spends the majority of her time at world or with her partner, neither of which she talks about. So I simply don't know the majority of what she does, and by extension her life. There's no more MSN after school and COD at the internet cafe, just an adult living her life and occasionally chatting over text message. And it's a feeling that, even if I'm not bitter about, still hurts to know that the simple fact is, other than her partner, nobody will be as close to her as I once was. Nobody will, because life dictates that you can't just spend all your time with friends. You can't just spend an entire day with someone sharing YouTube links back and forth. You can have a partner and have a more intimate relationship that includes those things, but being an adult, having a job and responsibilities, by its nature excludes having that sort of friendship with people. And I miss it. I miss being a part of people's lives and witnessing their changes over time, not just realizing some aspects changed at some point where you weren't around. Nobody warned me that those sorts of friendships had a time limit imposed by society. Wow. My husband and I have been playing for 15 years. We made our own guild all our toons are part of. We pool all our gold. We have every variation of toon and all professions, mostly across Alliance, but a few years ago we also sent some toons to the Horde side to build a presence there. We quest and level each toon together to have one weaker and one stronger variation. After getting our mains to a decent max level to participate in raids casually, we go back and do old school achieves, raids, quests or dungeon variations, mythic for example, at our own pace. Neither of us like the crazy pace or culture of current raiding, so we do our own thing. We've been playing so long we've seen the waves of newbies at each expansion, and those who think bitching about how Blizzard has failed something is good to do in chat. Really, if you don't like the game, don't play it. Working, honestly. Not like having to do work. I worked my ass off my whole life. But seeing the same people, being in the same place, doing the same shit every day for like a decade. It feels like you go to uni and everything is moving so quick. You learn all this cool stuff, meet tons of new people each semester as classes change. The world is limitless. And then you get a job. Maybe you hop around a few times, but eventually you find a niche where the work is tolerable and the pay is good, and you feel yourself stagnate and it's like time stops. Your routine becomes so predictable you lose all sense of years passing. Hobbies do a little to cut the boredom out of your routine, but when you have a family to support, the feeling of being so absolutely stuck is real. When I was younger, I'm 34 now, I assumed that adults know what to do, how things work, etc. You grow up a bit and you realize that adults are just kids who've learned to behave less recklessly. Nobody really knows what the right thing to do is. A fully grown adult can be in many respects as clueless as a child. On that subject, I've learned that businesses don't work like clockwork, as I used to imagine they did. Actually, they work very inefficiently, because they're operated by humans, who are all flawed in some way or another. I assume conspiracy theories are mainly believed in by people who haven't learned how human society works, i.e., poorly. When you're an adult you realize that nothing